Hello everybody, I'm Dr Bev, BallCrusher, and I'm here again with an appointment with the doctor when I chat with a familiar, friendly face, this time from the television. Hello ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the lovely Amanda Henderson. Hi Amanda.
Hi.
So most of our friends and viewers will know you from BBC's Casualty, but we're going to talk about much more than just that. But I think that's probably a good place to start, don't you think?
Definitely.
Absolutely. So you've been in Casualty now for 7-8 years?
It will be 8 years in August. So yeah, coming up 9 years, which is insane.
Which makes you one of the longest serving current cast members.
Yeah. I think obviously Amanda Mealin, who plays Connie, she's done Holby. I think she's done like 15 years in the 2 shows.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony Marshall, who plays Noel, he's been there a lot longer than me. And obviously Derek Thompson,
yes.
Who plays Charlie. Obviously they've all been there a lot longer than me, but it's gone so quickly.
Mm-hmm. And in that time, you've been married, had a kid, been widowed.
Yeah, I've been left at the altar. I've fallen in love with my best friend. There's so much happened to the character, all car crash and everything all in one. I pierced my foot on a spike.
Yeah. So much.
It's been surreal because obviously there are certain storylines that you get so excited about doing.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some storylines you get so nervous. And I think especially when she was finding out she was pregnant and the whole giving birth thing, I've never given birth. So I didn't know what to do. Giving birth in a graveyard, that was another addition to it. Giving birth in a graveyard at 3:00 in the morning in November, in the middle of nowhere, with a very cold rain machine. That was something else.
Do you think there's a certain amount of responsibility on you because you are a big character in in fact, the world's longest running medical drama? Do you feel there's a certain amount of responsibility on you for that?
Do you know what? Kathy Shipton, who played Duffy, she's always said, and it has happened to me a couple of times, that people have gone, I've gone to medical school because of you, because I watched Casualty. I've been trained to be a nurse, or I've been trained to be a doctor. And to inspire that many people as a show, not just as a character, but as a show, is a huge responsibility, because we're not just portraying the easy side of anything. Mm-hmm. We portray some of the darker side of the NHS as well, because they struggle. Of course they do.
And particularly poignant, your sister's a nurse, isn't she?
Yes, she is. She's a paediatric nurse. And I used to go to her for everything. I used to ring, being like, what does this word say? What does this word say? Now I think I've got used to them a bit more. I can read them a lot better now.
You've also taken your character Robin over to Holby City on 2 or 3 times. Is it nice to go and visit another set where you've still got the comfort of being the same person but doing things differently?
Yeah, and it is very different. It's nice because sometimes I'll know some of the crew that are working down there, and most of my scenes have always been with Lee Mead, so that's always been nice to go and see him. Mm-hmm. But it is very different, but it's just nice. It's nice to go and visit everybody. You might not see everybody you want to see, but it's really nice to kind of pop down, say hello, stay in a hotel for a night, and then come back.
And is it something you'd like to do then? You'd like to do more?
I think I'd love both shows to see more crossovers. Mm-hmm. I would love that to happen so much. It's like a long-running thing that whenever Alex Walkinshaw, who plays Fletch, whenever he comes over to Cardiff to do Casualty, I'm never here, and I don't know why, but we never get to see each other anymore. And whenever I'm coming down to do Holby, he's never around. So we literally ships in the night. We can't see each other any time, but it's yeah, it would be lovely to get more crossovers in.
I mean, it's a big challenge, though, filming so far apart. But it would be nice from a viewer's point as well. Obviously, it's not just Holby City guest appearances. You've also guest appeared on a couple of other shows. I'm going to mention Sing and Dance for Comic Relief.
Oh, yes.
Where you did a bit of a dance routine. And from what I gather, not expecting to go any further, and then ended up coming second.
I mean, we, all three of us, so me, Tony and Chizzy, we were all just like, what? Like, what? This is insane. Like, we were just doing it for a bit of fun, and then all of a sudden, like, the competition side of me kind of, competitive side, that's better. Yeah. Competitive side in me just kind of came out, and I was like, I want to win this now. I want to win this. So for us to be able to go back to do it with the Chasers as well, because we did the original round with the Chasers, and for them to win it, like, I was made up. If anybody else was going to win other than us, it would have been the Chasers. Like, they were incredible. They were so much fun.
It was nice for the group to see you doing something different as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I trained as a singer and a dancer, but not doing Bruno Mars. That's not exactly been my style. So, it was difficult.
You've before joining Casualty, you were back in, I'm going to say 2012, doing maths in my head. You were in the West End version of Oliver.
Yeah, actually, that was longer than that, because I had a bit of time out in between. So that was 2009 till 2011.
Tell us about your experiences with that.
Oh, it was incredible. To go from coming out of drama school, I did a play up in Manchester and absolutely loved it. My dream was always, I had like two kind of main goals. One was to be in a piece that had never been done before and to kind of originate a character, which not only have I managed to do with the first play that I did, Everybody Loves a Winner, I managed to do it for that. I've also kind of helped create Robin in a way, because as much as everything is written for us, like, we have storyline meetings and things like that, and she is a part of me. But my other goal was to do West End, and I always kind of thought, I'm never going to get there. I know I'm never going to get there, but I'd auditioned for, I think, Hairspray and Les Mis and didn't get into either of them. And I was so disheartened, but then going for Oliver, I just kept getting recall after recall. And I think I went through about 7 recalls. And my last one was in front of Cameron McIntosh on, I can't remember what stage it is. I think Avenue Q was on there at the time. So the Gielgud, maybe. Opened a door. They were like, oh, it's just through that door. So I opened the door, didn't see the 2 steps going down, fell flat on my face in front of Cameron McIntosh.
Well, you made a
I still say that's why I got the job, definitely. But that was incredible. The whole show was just, it was such a nice kind of family feeling for a show. And it was a great production. It was incredible. It was just nice to be a part of something so big and so legendary. Oliver is legendary, so it was amazing.
You mentioned Les Mis then. Of course, there's another connection with you and Les Mis, isn't there?
Yay! I managed to get in the film for 1 second. Literally blinking, you missed me. It's still on my CV. I still get the royalties.
IMDb, it's fine.
No, it was literally a you missed me moment. Whore number 6.
Thank you very much.
I think it was something like that. Anyway,
lovely lady.
Yeah, I was a lovely lady. That was bizarre. Like, I've never experienced anything like that in my life. I was on a freezing cold set, up to my knees in mud, because everything was pretty much done real. And they had this like fish stall at the side that had real dead fish on it that were there for like 3 weeks. They stank. It was disgusting. And they were like, everybody's so method about everything. But I got to meet Hugh Jackman and Russell Crowe and Anne Hathaway, so I was buzzing. And we did a couple of weeks filming on that. And I missed the birth of my nephew because of it.
But you are a singer. Now, I've seen you performing on stage as a singer several times. You've toured with your friend Lee Mead in concert. Tell us about that when you did the musical tour with him.
I was only supposed to ever be doing one date. I was doing Cardiff. He'd never actually heard me sing, and he invited me along. He was like, "Oh, I heard that you can sing. So you've done the West End. Well, just come and do a gig with me." I was like, I haven't sang properly in years. This was even before I'd done. I honestly think I hadn't performed solo by myself on a stage for so long at that point. And I was so nervous. But I was supposed to be going to a wedding in the evening at Cardiff Castle. And I literally rocked up, sang my song, and then went off to the wedding. And it was so bizarre. But then I must have done a good job, because then he was like, actually, do you want to do the rest of the tour with me? So I did a lot of that tour. And then his next tour, I did the odd dates, because it was just for me, it was too hard for both of us to get the time off work, seeing as how we were working together as well. But that was fun. Even just getting to sing on stage with my best mate was brilliant. And I do miss doing that with him, but the tour life was difficult. I find it really hard being everywhere. I don't know how you do it at all. Trying to be in a different place every night. It's crazy.
You've also sung with another former co-star, Chelsea.
Yes.
He went on to do big West End stuff in 9 to 5. I
cried so much now. I cried so hard.
I've seen you perform with her in little intimate events and big massive stages like Pride Cymru, Gloucester Pride. I've seen you do various Pride events together. What's it like singing with Chelsea?
That again was like, I think I'd gone round to hers for tea. She used to cook me a really good tea. She'd be like, "You'll never guess this is vegan." I would have never have guessed it was lush. But she like invited me around, and we just like kind of started singing a bit together. And then we were like, our voices kind of blend really nicely, because we both have really different voices, but they just go together really well. And then she was like, "Actually, I'm doing this gig at this restaurant. Do you want to come and do that with me?" So I did. And from then on, we just had another couple of gigs. And then when I got offered Pride, I was like, "Can you come and do this with me?" So that was nice. And again, like singing on stage with your best mates makes me not as nervous, I guess. Whereas standing on
20,000 people.
Yeah. Standing on my own. In fact, I think the first year I did Cardiff Pride and sang at Pride Cymru, I was a nervous wreck.
Seem to remember,
I think you were with me on stage.
Song.
Oh, you don't have to bring that up.
Biscuits and oddly enough,
singing 9 to 5 biscuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, to come. Yeah, trying to sing 9 to 5 and not. I mean, who doesn't know the words to 9 to 5?
It's amazing.
But yeah, my brain
forget.
It was crazy. I remember you just looking at me going,
"What?" Oh, crikey, such fun. I'm just looking down there. So, you've done a couple of quiz shows as well. So, we'll start with the first one. I remember watching you on Pointless Celebrities.
Yeah.
Which I think you actually came around and watched at my house with us, if memory serves me right. And you did it with Charlie Dale.
Yes.
And can we just talk about one particular round, Amanda? Where do you live?
Right, I can tell you exactly what happened with this. I've got excuses for everything. So I had a pair of heels on that I really couldn't walk in. I don't wear heels.
No, you don't.
So whatever possessed me to wear them, I've no idea, but I did. I also didn't have my glasses on because I just don't wear them all that often, but I do need them. So, so all these pictures come up on the big screen, which is behind Alexander Armstrong, like they're all there. they actually gave us the time to say, look, if you want to come closer, feel free. I couldn't. There was an audience there and I couldn't walk in my heels.
So for those, there were 9 pictures of cities around the world that you had to identify. And you and Charlie Dale, who's also Welsh.
Exactly. Wasn't just me.
The same picture of Cardiff Castle. Do you remember what you said the answer was?
No, I didn't pick the picture of Cardiff Castle. I don't think either of us did. I was literally looking at the board going, I can't see, I don't know what anything is. And all I saw was like a bridge with a bit of water, and I went,
yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Vienna. I knew in my head that was wrong, and I knew I meant to say Venice.
But more importantly, you didn't guess the city that you lived in.
But I did not get, and as soon as they said it afterwards, both me and Charlie Dale.
Charlie, the face.
Although to be fair, bless him, like he was quite confident. He's like, definitely going to go with. I know it's up there, so I'm going to play safe. I'm going to go with Berlin. It wasn't up there.
Not there.
Not
the only faux pas you've made on a quiz show. We can't let it lie. Because you went viral, my darling.
I did indeed.
And you made a very lovely young lady change her name on her birthday on Twitter. So we need to talk about Mastermind for a couple of moments. I will say, in Amanda's defence, the episode was filmed quite some time before Greta Thunberg became a household name. She was like just on the peak, wasn't she? So Sharon Gates.
Yeah. I mean, everyone goes on about Sharons and the Karens of the world and all of that. I got told, having had George Rainsford had already done it, and he said to me, whatever you do, just don't pass. Like, because I mean, it happened to be that if I'd have got one more question right, I'd have been tied for first. So then that would have gone on my passes. I didn't pass anything. I didn't want to say the word pass. The only woman's name that came into my head at that time was Sharon. I obviously didn't know the answer. I didn't think she was called Sharon. I just thought, I don't know, Sharon.
But it happens, doesn't it? The pressure of the lights are on you. You've got that clock ticking in the back of your head. Get an answer out.
So I get really nervous for singing, and Mastermind is like nothing else. Like, with the lights being on you and it being really dark, and John Humphrys is sat in front of you, who's an absolute legend, and you're just like, and Paul Chuckle was on like the show that night with me, and I was like made up that Paul Chuckle was there, and Levi Roots. I was like, this is amazing. I was so nervous. The microphone was clipped to my top, and all I could think was, I can hear my heartbeat. That microphone must be picking up my heartbeat, because I was pounding out of my chest. I'd got a couple of questions wrong beforehand, which was stupid because I definitely should have known them. I think the lead up into getting a few wrong in a row, I just went, I don't know, Sharon. My brain had given up.
But what I like is the fact that you've kind of embraced it now, though, haven't you?
Yeah. At the time, it wasn't fun. I got a lot of abuse on Twitter and other platforms. And I was doing panto in Norwich.
You were away from family and friends.
I was away from family and friends, even though I had the best cast with the panto anyway. They were lovely. And Alex, who played my other rugby sister, she was incredible with it all. And actually Joe Tracini, who's been doing all these incredible videos at the minute, he was amazing. He made sure I wasn't walking home on my own at night and things like that. He was amazing. But that took me into kind of a weird place, and I kind of focused all on the negative, and now I'm looking at it all going, do you know what? It's funny. It got my name out there a bit more. Who knows what I'm going to do with it?
Absolutely. And you mentioned panto then. You did. Was it your first panto that you'd done in Norwich?
Yeah. I did them a lot as a kid, but
is this something you'd like to do again?
100%. I loved it. However, it is like the hardest work I've ever done in my life. To be doing, like, I think it ended up 1 week, we ended up doing like 14 shows in 1 week. like the pre-show days, because we started so late as well. So our kind of first week was like a week before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we didn't even have time to kind of just get used to it for a few shows. We were like smack into it all with the school kids, with the families, everything. Oh, it was hard work, but it was really good fun. And I loved it so much. And the cast were just brilliant. And Norwich is so lovely.
Yes, it is lovely.
I'd never really, not that I'd never heard of Norwich, of course I've heard of it, but I'd never really thought anything of Norwich. And as soon as I found out I got Panto, now I see it on every weather map, every news channel, everything. Like I just see Norwich everywhere.
Live from Norwich. On the downside, obviously, we've got lockdown at the moment, and I know that you have a particular place that you like to go to for the festival all the time. You can't go this year. You're a bit of a Glastonbury fan, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gutted. I understand why. I understand the safety of it. But yeah, especially this year was supposed to be the 50th anniversary, and Diana Ross.
I know.
Diana Ross. So yeah, I was gutted, but I understand why, and it'll just be even bigger and better. Yeah. And I kind of really hope it really rains over Glastonbury, and it's not supposed to at the minute. I really hope it rains all over Glastonbury time this year, so that next year will be really nice.
My fingers crossed for you. I've got a couple of audience questions now, if that's all right.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question comes from, I don't know if you know this name, somebody called Crystal Yu.
Crystal!
And the question to you is, you've shared your flat with a few people whilst living in Cardiff. Who has been your favourite cast flatmate?
Well, then I have to say Crystal. Yeah, I shared, so out of the cast, I shared with Crystal and I shared with Rich Windsor, who played Cal. I loved them both for very different ways. Me and Rich were a bad influence on each other, but very common interests of just sitting watching TV with a beer. Whereas me and Crystal were very opposite to each other, but she's taught me how to be a lot more house proud. She'd be fuming at me with the way my house is at the minute. Work is not an excuse for why my flat's a mess.
She's a very grounded lady, isn't she?
Very grounded, very neat, very tidy, cooks brilliant food, and makes me wear lots of face masks and look after myself. And
she taught you how to take your makeup off before going to bed.
Yes, she did. The first time she made me do it, she's like, Amanda, this is disgusting. I was like, what? Like, my skin's fine, don't worry. She says with a lovely spot there, if nobody's noticed that.
Nobody's noticed, babe. It's all right. The second question is from somebody called Hazel Dean. Now, you've met Hazel at a couple of Pride events, and her question is, her daughter Stevie, backstage at Pride, once gave you a rainbow feather boa.
Yes.
Do you still have it? And do you still love the rainbow feathers?
So I can be really honest about this now. I felt awful on the day. I have a weird thing about feather boas. I can't stand the feel of them around my neck. But I did manage to save it, and I did get it back after a few people had taken it off me and danced with it as well. However, I don't have it anymore, which is sad. But I still do love a rainbow feather boa.
I'm quite sure we can get another one for you at some stage. Not just around your neck, yeah. We've come to the quick fire round. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay, so if you've watched any of the other videos, you may have seen some of these questions. I tweak them ever so slightly for everybody who I'm talking to. So I'm going to ask you, what's your favourite play?
Ooh. Noises Off. Yeah. Every time I see it, I want to be in it. Like, I think it's brilliant. I just think it's clever, it's funny, I end up coming out like with tears streaming down my face because I've been laughing too much.
I've got the DVD in there. It might actually be played this week. What's your least favourite play?
Sounds awful, but anything Shakespeare, I've never managed to get my head around it. It's not that I don't like them. My brain gets like mashed up and I can't understand it.
What's your favourite sound?
When I've made somebody laugh.
What's your least favourite sound?
When I've made somebody cry.
Oh.
No, because I don't do that very often. Least favourite sound, somebody chewing. Somebody eating, somebody chewing like in a noisy way. No.
Must remember that next time we're out at Bag of Mamas.
You did.
What job, other than the one you currently have, would you like to try?
I think if I wasn't so squeamish, I would quite like to be, I know, ironic. If I wasn't so squeamish, I'd like to be a midwife. Bringing a lot of joy into the world.
What's your favourite treat?
Red wine.
Red wine. I'm asking you this like I don't know.
Although I don't drink wine on a night out, really, do I?
No, you don't.
It's not really a night out kind of drink.
Now, this next question's interesting, bearing in mind that I know what your father does for a living. If heaven exists, what would you like God to say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Can I take your ticket, seeing as how your dad's got you in? Probably like, here's your grandpa, or here's your family if other family members have gone. I've been really fortunate that I've only lost one grandparent, and I've been really fortunate with that, but my grandpa was my best friend. So I'd love him to be like, and here's your grandpa. And then I could run to him. Like a game show, like a full game show.
Look at what you
could have won. Yes.
It's quite odd because I'm sat here talking to you and doing this, but there's a photograph of you there, and there's a photograph of you there, and if you look over in the corner over there, there's a photograph of us at the beach.
We wrote our names on a heart.
You and Nathan wrote our names. It's that time of the interview where you get to turn the tables. You get to ask me a question. I'm hoping it's not related to the picture of the orangutan behind you.
Was this you when you were a kid? No. What's the most favourite performance you've ever done?
That I've ever done? Oh,
yeah.
That's a really good one. Okay, there's one standout performance I did. A few years ago, there was a drag queen in Cardiff called Lady Ding, who passed away suddenly. And it was a couple of weeks before Pride. And as one of the organisers, we'd allocated her stage time. So we maintained that she still had it. So we had a compilation video made of photographs and videos of her. And one of her songs was, if there's a right way to do it, and nobody will lie me. So we had Martine McCutcheon singing that over the top of it. We played it, and everybody let go of balloons, because we were allowed to in those days. We wouldn't do that anymore. And then I went on and I sang Christina Aguilera's Beautiful for her. And nice. You've been with me at Pride events. You know, it's a busy, loud place. You could have heard a pin drop. Yep. And I finished a song, and I can only describe it as a wave of noise and affection hit me. I'd lost it, completely went to pieces. But what I loved was, yes, that was my performance, but the applause was for Lady Ding. And I think, hand on heart, that is my all-time favourite performance. And a great question. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us today. A massive thank you to Amanda for taking time out of her schedule for joining me here. Don't forget you can catch
my very busy lockdown schedule. Very busy.
On Casualty on a Saturday night, and when lockdown is over and it's back to how we were, you can watch old episodes on Watch. That's what I'm looking forward to, seeing your early days on the Watch channel.
Oh no, awful hairdo.
Stay tuned. There'll be more interviews coming later in the week. Thank you all very much. Stay safe. Take care of each other. Cheerio, folks.